What's going on, everyone? You listen to Bull Central here. So guys, I wanted to do something a little bit different today. Rather than just talking about the latest news on the Bulls and updates, I received an interesting comment on one of my last videos, and I'll share that comment in a little bit. But it got me thinking. I've been hearing so many hot takes from Bulls fans recently, whether it's on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, or just through my family and friends, and I wanted to highlight a few I've heard and give my thoughts on them. So first up is the comment I received on one of my prior videos, and it was in regards to Denzel Valentine. The comment was that Denzel was easily the Bulls' best passer and arguably one with the highest overall basketball IQ on the whole team. Now, first of all, I actually appreciate this comment. I don't want this person to think that I'm criticizing them. I do welcome any and all comments on my channel as long as they're respectful and don't include any personal attacks, whether it's on myself or others. But as for the take, look, if Denzel is easily your best passer and has the highest basketball IQ, then the Bulls have bigger problems, let's be honest. Do I think Denzel is an okay passer? Sure. Is he a decent playmaker? Yeah, sometimes. My argument is that Denzel doesn't do anything exceedingly well. He's kind of average in every aspect of his game. To be honest, there's not anything he does that's like absolutely poor, maybe his defense. But every aspect of his game, in my point of view, is just average. That's what it is. So there isn't one particular thing that stands out that I would really consider to be above and beyond. Now, I do agree that Denzel hasn't really been given the opportunity to show his true potential. I think last season he only played about 13 minutes per game and also sat out a lot of games due to Jim Boylan's coaching decisions for whatever reason. But either way, I'm not going to say that Denzel is the best passer, nor does he have the highest basketball IQ on the team. Straight up. Now, hot take number 2. This is the hot take. Coby White will be a top 5 point guard in the league. Okay, so here's my issue with Coby White. I don't really consider him to be a point guard. He's more of a shooting guard with a score-first mindset. I mean, I might be a bit old school in this thinking, but to me, a point guard is one who facilitates, creates on the floor. He's the floor general, and it's fine if that also means he's a high-scoring point guard. But if a point guard doesn't really have the ability to play make and create for the people that are on the floor and really act as more of a shooting guard, then it's hard for me to call him a point guard. Now, I'm not saying Coby White can't get to that point. I think he's still very young and he has a lot of potential, and he could, turn into that point guard, that true point guard that we, tend to see. But at this point, that's what I don't see. So this take is really hard for me to assess because I don't really consider White to be a point guard. But if I did, do I think he's a top 5 point guard in the league? I mean, maybe. I mean, obviously not now. I think the basis behind this take was that he will eventually be a top 5 point guard in the league. I would say maybe. It's tough to say because I honestly think we as Bulls fans, myself included, tend to hype Coby White a bit because of that stellar end of his season before they suspended everything because of the global health crisis. But I really need to see Coby put up some more consistent numbers like that over a longer stretch before I can consider him to have the potential of being a top 5 point guard in the league. At this point, I would say it's a no. I do think there's a lot of potential for Coby White, don't get me wrong, but I just want to see a little bit more consistency in that really incredible stretch that he had towards the end of the season. Now, hot take number 3. The Bulls would have multiple championships had Rose not got injured. I'm actually planning on making a separate video about this take because I do think this is an interesting one. Those Bulls teams in 2011, 2012, they were really good with exceptional defense. Every player on that team fit the roster real well and complemented each other. But I think the thing we often overlook is LeBron James. Having to go through LeBron James would have been tough regardless if it was the Heat or the Cavs. I mean, the guy went to 8 straight NBA finals. It didn't matter what team he was on. No one could get past this guy. In the East anyway. And that actually includes the Bulls. They couldn't get past him in 2011 in the Eastern Conference Finals when they lost to the Heat, and in 2015 against the Cavs. I think it's possible the Bulls could have pulled off one title had Rose not gotten injured. because it's likely they would have been able to create more talent around him if year after year they weren't able to get past LeBron. But multiple championships, I don't know. It's tough to say. Like I said, I'll make a video on that and dive into it a bit further. It's always hard to go back in hindsight and see what potentially would have happened. But I do think they would have won at least one title had Rose not got injured. Hot take number 4. Anthony Davis will join the Bulls this offseason in 2020. And actually, you know what? I'll even add to that hot take because the first one is, in my view, just so ridiculous. And I'll say, okay, Anthony Davis will join the Bulls in 2021. In other words, he signs a 1-year deal with the Lakers and becomes a free agent next season. So, first of all, I'm not even going to entertain the idea of AD coming this offseason because I've already talked about it in one of my prior videos. All I'll say is on that, no. AD is not coming to Chicago this offseason. Just because he declined his player option with LA doesn't mean anything other than the fact that he wants to simply make more money. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if by the time I upload this, it's announced that AD has actually re-signed with the Lakers. And it's going to happen really any moment now. Now, when you're playing with the best player in the league and you just won a championship with your current team, to then go play for a rebuilding team like the Bulls, in the peak of your prime, because Anthony Davis is in the peak of your prime, no, it's not going to happen. Now, for Anthony Davis coming to Chicago in 2021, I would say this is unlikely. It's much more likely than him coming this offseason in 2020, but still unlikely. The only way that happens is if he signs a 1-and-1 deal, meaning a 1-year deal with a 1-year player option after the first year. And this would be with the Lakers, of course. Something would have to go horribly wrong with the Lakers season. Say they get bounced early in the playoffs, or there's some bad chemistry, LeBron has a career-ending injury, or say LeBron lets Anthony Davis know in advance, hey, I'm leaving after this year, meaning after this year, 2021, then yes, it would be possible. But only possible if the Bulls show they are up and coming team with a lot of potential. If the Bulls have a season like they did last year, then I would say it's still unlikely Anthony Davis would consider them. Even, if any of the above aforementioned scenarios happen with the Lakers, I think it would be unlikely. They really have to show that they're making progress because just being his hometown team isn't going to be enough. Okay, hot take number 5. The Bulls, like the Cubs, are cursed and won't win another championship for another 100 years. Okay, so if you're superstitious, then more power to you. I don't agree with this take at all. We have no idea what the future holds. There's no fate in sports. Honestly, anything can happen. For all we know, the Bulls could win a title 3 to 5 years from now. I wouldn't be shocked. They have a new front office now, and we've seen teams go from being one of the worst to title contenders in just a few seasons, just from great draft decisions and key trades. You take a look at the Warriors, for example. They were an awful team in 2011 and then went on to win a championship in 2015, just 4 years later. Or even the Cavs, when LeBron left to go to the Heat, they went to the bottom of the East, and then they won a championship just a few seasons later when LeBron came back. The point is, we don't know. Saying a team is cursed is just, in my view, pure superstition. Sometimes teams get lucky, and sometimes they don't. And that's all there is to it. Anyway, that's all I've got for you today, guys. Let me know what you think. Do you like these reactions to hot takes? If so, I'm happy to make more, as these were just a few. There are plenty of others that I've heard. Do you agree or disagree with any of these takes that I mentioned? Let me know in the comments, and as always, be sure to subscribe if you're a Bulls fan. This is a brand new channel, so don't miss out, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.